I'm creating this YouTube blog for a lot of different reasons. Mostly, I create things, I want to share my creations with the world and magical things like that. I've been inspired by creative vloggers like Alex Day and Emma Blackberry.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça, ela menina.
Also, I want to share things that I find interesting and complex, and ideas and thoughts and meanings, and just put them out there for people to talk about and then talk to me about so I can learn more things and have different perspectives on things. That's also inspired from channels like SourceFed and DNews, where they do that kind of stuff. They give you different perspectives on the world from things that they just read online or do research on or just find clever. And I do all that stuff, so I figured I'd bring it to you guys. Mostly, you know, I also want to be putting out there that I just moved to Austin. It's the weirdest city in the country. The self-proclaimed weirdest city in the country, and you know what? It's a worthy name. They have all kinds of weird stuff going on through here, and I have not experienced anything. I've been here for a year, and I haven't seen hardly anything of Austin. I just moved from San Diego, California, which is the finest city in the world, self-proclaimed also, but it's also a fine city. And I didn't really experience enough of San Diego. You know, I did see all the sights. I went to SeaWorld, I went to La Jolla, I went to see all these amazing things there, but I didn't really spend a lot of time there. I didn't really dive into the city, and I don't want to do that with my new home. It's the weirdest city in the world. I need to get some weird in. So, yeah, Austin, Texas, that's where I'm at now. I'm going to be taking you around, hopefully every week, maybe once a month. We'll see how it goes. But there are cool things here that I'd like to do videos on and talk about. I've already been to a couple, and I want to do more. So this is a good opportunity to put in my head, go out there and make a blog about the cool, weird Austin things. Yeah. Anyways. I'm also going to be doing sort of like a literary thing. I read a lot. I was a literature major in college, and I have a lot of books I want to review. Movies also. I'm movie buff, fanatic. I want to review them, talk about them again, put my ideas out there, and see what comes up. Which brings me to my first vlog review. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands right now. It is on a book that I just got for Christmas. Actually, I got it a year ago from Christmas. Not this last Christmas, last month, but a Christmas 2000. Anyways, it's called Wizard's First Rule. It's a fantasy novel, a high fantasy novel, and for those of you who don't know what high fantasy is or are unfamiliar with the term, it is epic fantasy. Lord of the Rings is high fantasy. It's knights and shining armor and swords and epic adventures to save the world from bad people and naughtiness. Anyways, this book takes place in a completely fantasy realm. There are a bunch of different characters doing all kinds of things. The bad guy's a big bad. He wants to destroy the world. Actually, he wants ultimate power. He's searching the land for this magic box, the last one of 3, that will basically make him God, which was really bad because he's really nasty. Nobody likes this guy. The main character is just a normal woodsman whose best friend happens to be this wizard. Yeah. I want a best friend that's a wizard. That'd be cool. Anyways, he gives him a magic sword called the Sword of Truth, and he becomes a seeker. The seeker is an individual who seeks truth. He must find the truth in all things. Which brings me to the best part about this book. This is a book review, and my favorite part about this book is the theme. He keeps truth as a primary theme throughout the book. Truth is not a constant. It is subjective. It is by the perspective of the individual who is observing the truth. He does seem to indicate through... by the way, it's written by Terry Good King, which I know I didn't mention earlier, which is important to mention, but it's the Wizard's First Rule.
Moça do corpo dourado do sol de Ipanema, o seu balançado é mais que poema, é a coisa mais linda que eu já vi passar.
Anyways, truth is the big theme in this book. The magic in the Sword of Truth allows him to grow angry and righteous and right in his way of thinking, which gives him ultimate power to kill crap. Which I thought was really interesting if you think about, all of the people that have been killed righteously. It's really a perspective. People believe in this, and this guy is given the power to believe in what he is doing is right by the sword and superhuman strength and cut off heads and all that fun stuff. But it goes on to talk about how, there's a consequence to that. His magic is sort of torn away from him at one point and used against him, and in order to overcome this power, he has to see deeper into the magic, see deeper past the truth of rage and righteousness and all of this, and grow as a person and see that there's another way. There's a way to understand that you're not the only perspective. There are other perspectives out there. When he turns the sword white, which is a big moment in the book that really leads up to it. I know I'm doing a spoiler. I should probably put spoilers somewhere. Spoiler! And when he does this, he kills with forgiveness. He kills with love. That magic gives him extra power because he can really relate to the person, see the person from the other perspective, the other truth. It's a really interesting little tale that they spin here in this very fantasy world. It's a good theme. They use a lot of motifs and metaphors to project the idea that truth isn't truth. It's just the idea. In fact, the wizard's first rule, the title of the book, is basically, people are stupid. Literally it says that. But more to the point, that they'll believe anything that they either are afraid is true or that they want to be true. And I thought that was really, again, another good motif that they build throughout the book that can be applied to real life. I mean, people really do live their lives in that way. So, anyways, ultimately it was a good book. Of course, this is a book review, so I have to talk about the bad stuff too. I like it, but he does kind of write by the inch. I mean, the thing is this big. And it's like 900 pages or something like that. Actually, this is the sequel, never mind. But it's a thick book. And he puts in a lot of detail, which is great. I love detail in books. I love to dive into the richness of it. But he goes a little overboard. And there's certain points where he's describing something that it really doesn't give me a feel for the room or the countryside or the castle or whatever it is. But he's just sort of throwing it in there so he can add a couple inches on the book, a few more pages, a few more dollars. That's kind of feel in certain spots. It's not the whole thing, but it's probably my biggest complaint about the book is sometimes the description just seems to be filler. Also, there's a torture scene. It's like 3 or 4 chapters. It's really brutal. That's how he becomes, he's forced into forgiving his torturer. That's how he unlocks it. It's very important to the story. It's very, it works well with the tale. It fits in, but it's torture and it gives me the crawlies. I don't like torture. It's kind of a thing for... kind of a thing for me. I don't like torture. It kind of freaks me out. But that being said, I can't hold it against the book or the author in saying that is, a bad thing that he did. It's just not something I personally like. So if you want to read this book and you're freaked out by torture, do what I did, just skim those pages. And if you're not freaked out by torture, then there's something wrong with you. And those chapters are fine. It starts at the end of the book, so you have to wait through it. But you're fine, you sick pervert. What else? Well, yeah, that's my book review for this, my first vlog. I will be having more book reviews. I'm on the second book right now. About that far through, so I'll be done within a couple of days. And yeah, that's my perspective on those things. And I guess that's it for my very first vlog. I will be bringing others to you, and soon, and I'll do movie reviews, and all kinds of nifty, neato stuff. Hopefully you like it, and if not, we'll poop.
Ah, porque estou tão sozinho. Ah, porque tudo é tão triste.